Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. Sean todos ustedes bienvenidos a otra vez más uno de sus capítulos. El día de hoy nos toca hablar con el fabuloso, grandioso e inigualable Kristopher Lee. Él es nativo, bueno, lo van a conocer a continuación. No voy a dar ninguna introducción e información que no deban de escuchar de su propia voz. Así que, una vez más, Marco Márquez y Luis Gama estamos aquí para iniciar con ustedes y pues comenzamos. Please, everybody, good afternoon, good morning, good night, whatever the time it is when you're listening to this, please give a warm welcome to the Mr. Kristopher Lee. Big round of applause. Applause on the outside, please. Hell yeah. So, here it is, Marco Márquez and Luis Gama. Welcome.
Thank you. Rana, aloha, hello everybody.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
What's up? Yeah. So, please, Kristopher, tell us, where are you from?
I'm born in Hawaii, so I'm an American by birth.
Can you please?
Yes, I was born in Hawaii, and I was raised there, school, everything. I spent majority of my life there. I was also raised in Tahitian culture, which is my other part of my culture. My family is there. I have family in Tahiti, my family in Hawaii, and I've uprooted now, and I live in California, which is still part of the United States. But opportunities of life have brought me there, so I'm there now.
That's incredible to know that you're Hawaiian who performed Tahitian music. But yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I mean, that's incredible to know. But please tell me, what do you like the most from your original places? I mean, by Hawaii and Tahiti, what's the thing you most like? You like the most?
Well, Hawaii is very modern. It's when you think about westernized cultures, Hawaii is more modern because it is an American system. The government is the United States, so they implement everything in the American system, which is pretty much what you see in the U.S. In the mainland U.S. like in California, you see buildings and traffic and all the electronics and the modern things that we need to live in life. It's like that in Hawaii, except it's all on one island, or all on 8 islands. And we still have our traditions, or the Hawaiian traditions that they preserve there and perpetuate. But like anything else, we speak English. It's the primary language, and the government runs our life. American government. Tahiti is French colonized, French governed. They are a little different in terms of they haven't been developed and modernized the way Hawaii was. In Tahiti, we still have our language spoken. It's not as common anymore, but even the children still understand. They can speak it. Parents, adults, they still speak it in their homes and stuff. And they don't speak it in the schools anymore. The French government has kind of forbid that. So, but the language is still very much alive. The native language, the Tahiti. The islands of Tahiti are less developed.
Okay.
You don't see big buildings like you see here in the city. Even in Hawaii, you see big, tall buildings. Tahiti, you don't have that. I think the biggest building is 4 stories or 5 stories.
Yeah.
That's the biggest building they have. So, what life was in Hawaii or even here in maybe 50 or 60 years ago is what you see now in Tahiti. They still live like that, not very modernized. Little bit, but not much,
Okay. For the people who doesn't know, can you tell us where Tahiti is on a map? How can we find it?
Tahiti, okay. So we are here in Mexico.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Put them.
By the way.
Where are we?
We are here in Guadalajara.
Oh.
I don't know how I ended up here. My car took a wrong turn.
Yeah.
So we are sitting in Guadalajara.
Yeah.
Okay, so on a map, you have from Guadalajara, you have north. It's the United States,
Yeah,
California. So if you come back to to Guadalajara, you can go straight west. I guess you can say west.
Yeah.
And you're going to probably run right into Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay, because California here, it's Hawaii, Mexico. It's on this same kind of line. So Mexico,
Yeah.
Guadalajara, Hawaii.
Yeah.
Then you go 5 hours south on an airplane south this way,
Yeah.
and you end up in Tahiti. Where the equator is,
Yeah.
Tahiti is right on the other side.
Okay.
So this is the equator,
Yeah.
Hawaii, equator, Tahiti.
Okay.
So it's complicated. It's not as complicated as I say it.
Really close from here.
From here, maybe say 7 hours of flight in the airplane. 7 or 8 hours in the airplane, you're there.
Yeah.
Paradise.
Okay.
We have seen an important growth in Polynesian culture last years. What do you believe that it's like making impulse in this knowledge?
Here in Mexico?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It is Oritati, the culture of Oritati, or the Tahitian dance culture. We have to be specific and correct. The culture of Oreo, the dance, because that's what's really popular here. You
Yeah.
know. The culture of Tahitian culture is big. You can say Tahitian culture could be language, could be food, could be, anything. But what's really big here is the dance and the music.
Okay.
It's really exploded here in Mexico. It's amazing. Before this, you never would think that it was popular here. Before I came to California, I never knew that it existed here. I know in Japan it was big. I've always, seen that. I've been there, to participate in their events, and I know it's big in Japan. But now that I come here, or we've been coming here, in Mexico City, and now here in Guadalajara,
Yeah, but
huge.
Mexico's it's a country with 130 million people.
Right, but you have to think about 130 million people, and in every corner you look, somebody is doing Ori here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing, Tahiti is a small dot in the map. Mexico is a huge piece. If you think about the 130 million people want to do a dance that was created by 10,000 people.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, how it evolved here. I ask people and they say, they saw beautiful costumes, they saw movement, this real free movement, this sound that was very distinct and very unique. Yeah. And somebody decided, I want to try that. And it just grew from there. What is good is that now they are reaching for the true and the real resource,
Okay.
They're not just making it up anymore. Before, when long 15, 20 years ago, they just copy what they see in the video. Okay, I
Yeah.
think this is right. Or hey, let me hit this drum. I think it's like this.
Okay.
Now they actually they got people, they bring them here, Tahitian people,
Yeah.
to teach them what is the real dance, what is the real language, what is the real pehe, how do you play it, how do you do it, how do you move, how do you say it. And that to me that is what makes it incredible, and it's what makes me see Mexico on a different ways. Like, okay, now Mexican people, they are doing the real thing, and they're becoming more legit in this,
Okay.
and that's amazing,
Okay. Talking about it, adding like some info to what you're sharing with us. How do you see the culture will be in the next couple years, the next 5 years, or something like that, on the growth with the culture? And what would you like to people to know about your culture? Because as you say, we Mexicans have lots of places where practice ori, but what do you think they should know about it? Not only for the dancing or for the music. What do you think they should know about it?
Well, the Tahitian culture, it's a we're not a big culture, you know. We like I said, we're a dot on the map, you know, a cluster of small dots
Yeah.
compared to this big piece of land on the map, you know. And you know, there are people who have done it and are starting to do it more. And I think the one thing that I could definitely say that would put Mexico even higher in this it's not a race, but in this um, how do you say, process to elevate yourself in a culture that's not theirs is actually go there.
Yeah.
Go to the Penua, go to Tahiti, experience the culture, learn the language. Tahitian people, they're so very protective over their language. You know, we have some dancers that live here in Mexico that belong to our school, and they came with us one time to do a competition. At the same time, I had some musicians who came from Tahiti to join with me, and you know, the girls were like, "I love your culture so much." They told my friend, "I love your culture so much," and my friend said, "Oh yeah, if you love it this much, you should learn how to speak my language." You know,
Yeah.
that's how. So learn, go to the island. You can get there. The airplanes go. They can get on the airplane and go learn the culture. Learn from the people. Don't do a secondary. You know, secondary source is like, you know, studying from Google, or you know, just reading a dictionary and making, you know, trying to make sense of it. Go to the island and live with the people.
Making connections with nonsense.
Yeah, live the life with the people. You spend your time there for whatever time you can. Call somebody, get on the line and talk to somebody. You know, his resources is unlimited now.
Yeah.
But you'll never know until you go. You know, once you put your feet on the land over there, changes your life. I promise.
And we know that it's part of your culture or your lifestyle. And how did you start in this world, in the world of percussions or peje?
Hey, so I've always been around it. It's always been in my life. Um, but I never got serious. You know, we share stories. You kind of know that background. But I never got really serious until after I was in my high school years. Serious, you know. Um, Reason is that, you know, when you're young, you do it, but it's not something you choose to do for your lifestyle. You
Yeah.
you wanna be a kid. You're a teenager. You wanna go play. You wanna go to the beach. You wanna see your friends. You know,
Hang out with friends.
hang out with the girls. Go to the mall. You know, that kind of thing. You know, that's it wasn't that easy. You know, so after high school, I made the decision that I wanted to do this and I want to take it serious. You know, and in when you do stuff like this and you take it to the level that I was raised and I was given, you know, you have to make it a lifestyle. So, you know, I would spend, when everybody else would go out on Sundays to do things with their friends and families, I would be making drums during my high school, you know, my time off on Sundays. I will go learn how to cut the drums, how to make the drums, skin the drums, you know, take it off the cow, cut the cow, put the skin, make it, you know, make it dry, put it on the drum, things like that. I would spend an entire Sunday doing that every Sunday. When I wasn't doing that Monday through Friday, I was practicing with the orchestra, you know, learning how to play, learning how to do it the right way. And then when I finally, you know, get the opportunity, or you know, I get sent to learn, you know, with the real people, I go and then, you know, I get taught how to play the right way. I get taught how to do things the right way. Come back and apply it, you know.
Okay.
But it's not like I took it as a going to university to learn or something, you know. It's part of how I grew up. You're gonna play, you're gonna go learn from the real people. And then I came here and I came to California, and that lifestyle kind of left for a second because I had to get a job, my career, but I still had that inside me.
Yeah.
So when I had the time, the opportunity to start up again, I did, and it took off. The doors started to open up again, and I got to play with a lot more people in California and throughout the mainland U.S. More exposure, and along the way you make friends, and they all have the same interests. They have the same interests that maybe they didn't quite have the same experiences, but we got to talking, and you get to learn. They they really are into what you do. If they had the opportunity, they probably would have done the same thing, that I did. But I had that opportunity, so I had to really like embrace that, and share it with them. So kind of like the gist of how I did it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
How old were you when you came to live to America?
I was 22.
22.
Yeah, I finished university.
Yeah, you were married then?
No,
You-
not yet. I came here when I married 25.
25.
Yeah.
You got married at 25. Okay. And talking about it, I mean, or the music, I mean, you compose your own music, right?
For the most part, I compose for my own school. I compose my own music. Yes.
And
Usually, you compose the play and the songs.
okay.
Yeah.
And where does the inspiration for new music comes from? How's your writing music process?
Like songs, like for the Jimene, the Aparima, it's usually collaborated between me and this. It depends on what the theme is.
Yeah.
I used to get these dreams, or you just start daydreaming and you got words in your head and you write it out.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes you get busy and you just forget all about it, right? But you get the time when we have to compete competitions. We never go in with songs that have been pre-written, or pre-done by something else. It's very common because it's a lot of work to have to rewrite to write your own song. But when you create a team, the team is usually very personal, and with that, going with the theme, you gotta write a song that makes sense, that goes with the theme. You can't just write a theme. So let's just, for example, I'm gonna do a theme in a competition about a coconut tree.
Yeah.
But this song talks about a man and a woman falling in love. That has nothing to do with
Yeah,
it,
I know.
right? So you gotta you have to write the song if you want
it
it
has
to.
to make sense.
It's gotta go in. Yeah, otherwise, the judge is gonna be like, I have no idea.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this is a love song that.
What
talks
kind of
about-
story you telling me?
And your team is the coconut tree. No, so that's what we have to do. We write it. It's something more personal. You have to kind of express yourself about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Same with the pay. The pay, you try to, you come up with these crazy ideas. Man, put this here and put this here, this on here. And before you know it, you got this 2 minutes of this beat, this pay. And you apply it, and then if it works, and the choreographer likes it, approves of it, then okay, you use that, and you just keep working with that in that way. This is like the flow of what I'm choreographing from my pay.
Yeah.
She likes it, so we'll just kind of work with it. If she doesn't like it, she'll say, you try to change this or that, or slow down, or speed up, But usually you come up with ideas, and you let it out, record it. And
So you have many topics to think about it, but which is the most that you like, the theme that you like most to talk to sing about it?
there's not really one that I like more than the other. A theme is very personal.
Yeah.
When you come up with it, you are already experienced it in your life, or it's gonna be something that is significant to you. One just for example, we did one theme. The one theme was about growth, and it was about life before, life after. And basically the theme surrounded my daughter, the birth of our daughter. And she's an encompass of life, and um, that was one theme. The theme right before that, it was a traditional wedding performed in the islands of the Rurutu, and it's all about like how you get started in life, basically,
Yeah.
the meeting of man and woman, but it was the theme was brought forward in the style of the Rurutu Islands, and it's one region in Tahiti, in the French Polynesia.
Okay.
So when you come up with a theme, or when you're gonna come up with it, or you're gonna be given it, one or the other. Somebody's gonna either tell you, "I want you to do. Can you please do our theme?" And you either gonna agree yes, or you have an idea of already what you want to do. It's already become personal for you.
Yeah.
So at that point, and maybe she can explain better that, but she's very good about that. But when you get to that point of deciding your theme, it already became personal for you.
Yeah.
It's not just I took it out of a book or I saw this in a movie.
Yeah.
It's already something personal.
Okay.
A legend of where you came from. And normally the guys who tell legends in their themes, they lived in that, they came from that place, so they tell that legend.
Okay.
Stuff like that. So it's very personal.
Okay. How is the process to create a new song? I mean, you have different types of music. You have aparimas, you have oteas, you have...
Right. So in Ori, you have the otea, which is the dance with drums.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have the aparima, which is the music. Aparima means the kiss. Rima, the hands.
Okay.
Basically, it's movement telling a story with the hands, and
Okay.
it's told with music. With lyrics. It's lyrical.
So that is how it makes sense.
Yeah, in a traditional setting, presentation in the ways of Oriseti, those are you have an Otea and you have Aparima. Okay. Just getting technical, you also have the Himene, and the Himene is like sounds like choir of the church, chanting, but chanting with melody. You have the different types of himene. I get into that, it just gets more and more and more. But you have that factor. You have the ute, which is also music. Ute is what the Tahitian people are. It's like a skit, like telling a skit, like a story.
Okay.
Okay. You have the arearea, which is like telling a legend, or telling a story. Usually it's just two people, man and a woman, or two women or two men, or it's like they're telling a story about something, about an event or about a place, or it's ukulele, bass, or one of those stand-up ones, and they're just it's kind of like very grassroots. I don't know how you could. I don't want to compare it because I don't really understand like banda, like they're telling a story.
Yeah.
And it's not like a formal way. It's like almost like joking. So you have the area, which is area and paripari. One is paripari and area. One is like jokes, and one is like it's like making a joke about something. And the other one's like just telling a story,
Okay.
Okay. And I want to say area is the joking one, paripari is the more just telling a story,
Okay.
A series, not serious, but more skit stuff.
So this is how it makes sense when you're talking about telling a story with aparima, is
Aparima,
telling
yeah.
a story with your hands or with your
Dance.
movements.
It's a dance, yeah.
So it has to make sense with the musical instruments.
It's gotta go with it's gotta go with the theme you're presenting. The aparima is telling the story about your theme.
Yeah, but with the pejes, there are certain pejes which means something related on. I mean, you're playing a peje which is talking about the air, or you're playing a peje which means something more like water, and so the dancing movements will be like talking about that very same
There you go.
subject.
Oh, see, yeah. So you create a pay, and the pay is gonna accompany the pay is the drumming. So the drumming that's gonna accompany the dancing that's gonna tell some one part of the theme, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, so like you said, it's like water. You want that pay to kind of emulate or kind of make a way that's gonna allow the dancer to choreograph a movement that's like water, right? So you make that pay like that. Then you have to do the aporima. You have to write the lyrics that's going to talk about that water. It's going to actually explain the story in music form, in a musical melodic form.
Yeah.
And then they're going to dance it with their hands, or and they're going to dance it basically and tell the story with their hands, So those are the two factors. You have the pehe is the drumming, and you have the aporima, the music part. Both are going to kind of coincide with each other to tell that story, that theme.
And what will you recommend to the people that wants to start to start in this world of percussion, peje? What would you recommend to them?
I mean, I encourage everybody to learn. If you're a dancer, you definitely want to know what is your pehe, Dancers who understand the pehe can understand their dance much, much better, There's traditional steps that accompany, or there's traditional pehe that accompany certain steps of ori. And if you understand it, you can apply it like that, It's very easy. I'm not a dancer, so I'm not gonna go out there and tell you, But as a person who is involved in Ori for a long time, I can tell you, if you are a dancer, learn. And if you are
Drummer.
if you are a drummer, musician, and you're going to start your journey in learning the pay, learn everything, because at some point you're going to have to play one of those instruments, and if you can do it all the instruments, equally well, much more respect to you from me and all the others, around me who are, in this world of what you much greater than me, They'll look, learn everything, learn how to the tori, fante, teripro, how to play, learn how to play the ukulele, learn how to sing, it's all part of being a musician.
Learning every instrument at the same time.
Everything. I mean, there's no time limit, so it's not, there's no rush, learn whatever you can is for.
Yeah, what is about time?
Yeah, take it one instrument at a time, learn everything. Some people have that ability to go, get it overnight. Some people it takes longer. No time,
Okay. And you're, as a resume of your life, you're a musician. And what does music mean to you in your life? I mean, how do you apply the musical creator, writer, and performer as well? How does it match in your life?
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's not a moment that goes by in my day that I'm not thinking about it. It consumes my day and night. I'm always thinking ahead about making something new. I'm always thinking about where and who I'm going to play with next. I'm very lucky to have real good friends in California that I can go to in a quick moment, and they're ready to play because they're just like me. They're hungry for that. It's part of their life. They live it every day, and I'm very lucky that they are just very talented guys. Who can play. So it's part of my life. I mean, I eat, breathe, and sleep it. My house, I mean, half of my house is made up of instruments, it's part of the furniture.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is. It has defined my family life, it defined it all, Without it, we don't have, it's like missing a piece of your soul, So, yeah, there's not a moment that goes by I don't think about it.
And how could you define your culture to someone that doesn't know nothing about it? How can you?
How could I explain that to you? My culture is beautiful. And every culture is beautiful, though. I mean, I come here and I see it's rich. This culture is rich. It's a vibrant culture. There's so much color, so much flavor, so much the smell in the air. Tahiti has its own, very unique. Blue Lagoon, oceans, all that stuff you see on the postcards, that really exists. Those little bungalows on the water.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really there, and the water really looks like that, and the people are really like beautiful, beautiful soul people, and they'll invite you in and feed you a meal if they ever ran into you. That's my culture. But what is the focus is the dance and the music. If that's your focus, then you go there, experience it.
Okay, you're such an important person in this LGBT world, and so as a friend with us, I mean, we have this amazing opportunity of just meeting a few days ago. We have been sharing stories, we have been sharing thoughts, we have been sharing pages, we have been sharing wonderful things all over. What do you like? What would you like to live in this world as your musical legacy? I mean, you have shared a lot of things with us, and I can see that you have this natural instinct of sharing not only your culture, the way you live your culture, the way you feel the music, the way you perform the music. What would you like to live in this world to everything about music?
Like a legacy, huh? Never think about that. I mean, I just want, anybody who desires to cross my path in that way, I mean, I would want you to have the best of what I can give, I'm not the best, I don't consider myself a master or the best of this, but, my experiences and whatever knowledge I do have, I would want you to profit and enjoy it in the same way that I did. I never paid for it. I wouldn't expect you guys to pay for it. And it was given to me from the heart, and this is how I share it with you. If I had to leave the legacy, more than a playing legacy, what's this? I got proteges who play like me, No, that's not my goal.
The tiny Christopher.
You got about 100 Christophers running around in Mexico.
Yeah.
Playing,
Like the minions.
right? No, not at all. I wouldn't expect anyone to be exactly like me, but what I would love to see is that the next person or the next generation would share, if they did have that talent and knowledge, and I did give them some of it, some part of it, I would expect them to give it back to somebody else the same way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ever want to see you take or anyone take what I give for free and charge the next person money to say, now I'm gonna teach you this. Like let's say for instance, I show you how to play the instrument, how to do this, and now you have it and you do it, and you do it well.
Yeah.
And I never charge you any money for it because that's not my culture. My culture is not to take your money. It's we give from the heart. And I would never want to see you take that and to go to the next person and say, you're gonna pay me for this knowledge, because I didn't give you, I gave it to you free. I would want to see that the next person pass that on, and pass that on, and pass that on, down and down and down. You didn't have to say my name. I wouldn't care if it, use my name. It was given by this guy, by Mr. Lee. But just you have that.
I wouldn't say Mr. Lee. I would say my brother. My brother Lee.
No, I would just want to see you pass that on to somebody freely. Hey, bro, let me show you how this is done. Let me show you this is how I learned it, or this is how it was given to me. I want to give it to you now. I want to see that passed on. If I had to die tomorrow, I would want to see that. You know, I would want to know that is how it's being done.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you admire any musician or have an idol?
I admire every musician who plays with me, or who I've had the pleasure and the opportunity of and humble experience to play with. They are all to me amazing people. You know, I have the guys that I play with at home, my own orchestra in my school, and then there's those guys that I join up with, you know, outside of my orchestra. And I admire those guys. You know, they're talented, and they come from, you know, they don't all have the same opportunity that I had. You know, but they're still amazing, talented guys. You know, they make the best of it, and to me, that's a humbling. That's humbling to know that you can take your whatever you have, knowledge you have, and better yourself without having to, you know, or without the opportunities that maybe you might not have had, you know. Not saying that you wouldn't get it, it's just timing and whatever, it never happened, you know, but they still make it, you know, and they're great. They're freaking amazing drummers and musicians. You know, California and Hawaii, you know. I can't say I have one. I have everybody, you know. I mean, I admire anyone who has superseded what I've done, or supersede or do what I do, period, you know, along with me. Anybody who comes from Tahiti, from my Mama Finwa, is an idol to me. No matter if they're younger than me or older than me, they've all passed knowledge to me somehow.
Okay.
I have gotten an experience greater than I did the day before with them. So, you know, that's to me. I don't have one hero. I have a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just pretend everybody who's watching knows all the instruments from
Yeah.
the Asian culture.
Okay.
And just not make a list of all the instruments you know, but how many instruments you know how to play.
Well, you have the basic five, the traditional.
Which
You have
are?
you have the Pautupai, the Paurima. You have the Fatite. You have the Toire. You have the Taiprao. Okay? And then after that, you have, I mean, let's just say with the Toire, you have the Toire Piti Pai Pai. You have the Toire Piti Rima. And you have Ihara, which goes with your
Yeah.
Fakite. Okay,
Yeah.
Ihara. You have Vivo, your
Yeah.
nose flute. Ukulele, you know, that's all part of percussive sounds. Um, you have uh, shoot, I don't know, there's so many.
And which one of those is your favorite one? You have to choose one.
I mean, I love the Tori, you know.
No. You just not have to choose one. You just have to tell us why
Okay.
you love that.
I mean, I love the Tori. Obviously, you know, it's been it's like the color crayon in my box, you know.
Yeah.
It has like every color in there that I ever wanted, you know. But you know, I started off playing and I learned first, and it was the fatete. And you know, I have so much respect for that instrument because you need stamina to get through one hour of a presentation. In the Hewa, it's an hour long. Your presentation is 60 minutes. And if you gotta run their hands for 60 minutes, you know, I give that person my respect. It's not easy. But it is a very colorful instrument. You can do so many things with that instrument, the fatete. And I just, you know, I'm intrigued by the way the hands move on so quick, you know. I wish I was better at the taipro. And I will admit publicly that I am a terrible pahu player. uh,
Yeah, that's the thing is that you guys don't know this man, but
Yeah.
he's such a good liar. He
Yeah.
says, "I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that," and he has these. I mean, you have heard him speaking, and you don't know how this man sings.
Yeah.
This sings like a ninja, and he has this ukulele magical finger who can play it and sings like the whole angels. And okay, we have seen this. We have seen stories on the social media that you had competition in the past couple months,
Uh-huh.
and you congratulations. We know you have won the first place, but
Thank you.
what are the next projects in your life? What's coming up? I mean, this is, I don't know when we're going to release this episode, but we're almost done with 2021. The pandemic thing is getting on, not forgotten, but it's getting in the past. But what's coming for the next 2022? What are you
Well,
planning to do with the music and the Tahiti and the Odi?
we have, many levels of goals. We have our goal for our body, our school.
Yeah.
We plan to hope to expand our students and get more people into our doors. Through physical or virtual or whatever. We have students here in Mexico that do virtual classes with us. And 2022, we're hoping that we get back into in-person competitions,
Yeah.
that we can bring people back to our doors. Even the people who are here, our students here, can come to be with us
Yeah.
and compete. In some competition. Competing is hard. You can't do so many in 1 year. It'll wear you out. But we are planning to try to do that as a school.
Yeah.
Personal goals. I have not done a lot of thinking, in the past, and I finally got a little bit more clarity in my thinking and my personal goals. One is to get back out there and start sharing again, and thank you to you guys for bringing me here this first round, because this is hopefully a step in the door back into teaching, seminars and workshops, or just sharing with whoever is available, is willing to take me on.
Yeah.
That's a personal goal, to travel, to share.
Yeah.
Another personal goal that I have is, to return back to the Hawa. My last time I got to be in the Hawa was in 2019. 2020, the pandemic hit and they canceled the Hawa 2020. The Hawa 2021 canceled again. So, the Hawa has always been a part of our lives, a very unique part of our lives, because, you just don't show up into Tahiti and say, hey, I'm going to be in the Hawa.
Me too.
Right, hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Who should I call?
They're going to tell you, hey, get out of here. So, very fortunate, man, and very blessed and very humbled to have had opportunities in the years. I'm talking, 10 years already, to be a part of the Hawa, to have a seat on the line, or place a drum with, for me to play with the most incredible, amazing musicians that, in the world that does this. Ori is unique, right? So the guys who do this over there, they're the best on the planet.
Yeah.
There ain't nobody else who's gonna do that. So to know that I have that opportunity, they say, "Hey, you want to come to the Haven Nature? You come." It's very blessing. It's a real humbling experience. You just don't be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be a part of the Haven." You have to sit back and really think, "Man, I'm one of those people who don't live there, who aren't a native citizen of that island, who can be there, who can sit there and play with them." That's a real big deal, because they don't just take anybody like that. They're not just gonna be like, "Hey, your hands up, you wanna play with us?
Yes, he is.
You got a nice bike, you wanna play?" No, it means something to them. It means something for them to have had that much courage to ask you, to trust that they can ask you to be in their orchestra.
Yeah.
So, a personal goal. I've had that. We've had so many opportunities in the Halo. Not with just one group, but so many different groups. Every year has been a different group. Never one the same. And with that, after the 2019, it was not a very clear picture of what the future could be like. With the pandemic and just everything happening. So if it does happen again, that's a personal goal that I would love to just go back and be a part of the Halo again.
In the States.
Yep. I mean, I don't care who. Every group is a good group to me.
Yeah.
And talking about competitions, Halo, and everything, could you tell us a funny story where when you were playing, what happened to you?
Oh my God.
Yeah, funny people happen to everybody.
Yeah.
Not just
Nothing is
me,
perfect.
not
Nothing
just
is
Marco.
Every year is a funny story.
Oh man.
Recently, the most recent 2019 I was a part of the group To'ahiwa by Moon Urima, and the orchestra leader was Tehutua.
Yeah.
He's very, very, very prominent here in Mexico. And he invited me to be in his orchestra, and they had a really, really solid line of players, great musicians. And so I was put on the outside, and I went in there, and we practiced. I had my few weeks with them to practice and whatever. So I was ready to go that night at the Halo. I'd forgotten how hot it gets on that stage, and so the lights and everything. I was sweaty. It was hot, man, in the dark. So I set up all my instruments and we started going. And midway through,
Well, what time was it?
about 8 o'clock
Oh.
p.m. in the night, and it's hot. In July, it's very, very bad. So they got the stage lights. It's just like cooking. And you're wearing the costume, right?
Like Taco Dorado.
And we started playing. We started playing one of the series of the OTA. And the cameraman I saw him panning by me, the cameraman. And I was like, oh man, please don't mess up. Just when I just about to hit the first or second hit, my stick flew out of my hand. Boom! Because my hand was so sweaty. And my other stick was way under my stool and I couldn't reach it and I was so embarrassed. And the guy next to me, he looked at me and he was like, what happened, And the camera guy is looking at me like this.
Who was next to you so you can say I want to ask if that was true. You might be like, oh my, the cam's cut. Oh, yeah.
His name is Teorangi. And he started laughing at me, because he didn't realize what had happened. But I hit my stick, so I started slapping the toy with my hand, just to make the movement for the camera. If you're just sitting there because you don't have your stick, it's gonna look bad. So I just started whacking the toilet. I was reaching for my stick like that, finally I found it. But I was like 10, 20 seconds in, and I was like, I missed. And if that camera panned my hand, the whole world will see.
So that is taped on video.
I don't know. I never saw it. So I hope
you can share the link of the competition so we can share it on the description below this video.
TV replay. And I think. I hope they edited it out. I'm sure you're like, this guy's slapping his drum like a clown, So that's one funny story, Hey, Manny, man, go to a practice and, you think you have it all, when I was first starting in this and I remember 2011, I went and I thought, man, I'm ready for this. I got this, I've been practicing this style. And I went there and I'm like, this little 10-year-old, 12-year-old boy sat next to me and he showed me up. His name is Wallace. And he started playing. He was a little boy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought I was like, here I am, this California boy. And he sat next to me and he just tore me apart with this technique. And he was just going at it. And I was like, I stopped playing. I had to kind of like sit back and realize, wow, this new generation, they're not playing, they're really serious.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, everybody's laughing, right? Hey, this little boy he's making you look bad. But, not to say this little boy, now he's grown up, but he's one of the best, he is one of the best players out there. And yeah, I'm not ashamed to say it, he's still the best. So, but I mean, it was funny at the time because I was so confident in what I was doing, and I sat down and he just shut me down. I put my stick down. I thought,
Okay.
and the guys are laughing.
Yeah.
This little boy is better than you. But I was like, hey, it's okay, one day he's gonna be the best, and sure enough, But these are like those funny moments, You get scolded by somebody, you're playing and they scold you because they want you to do something and you're not doing it. And they tell you put your pareo on and go dance with the girls instead if you want to play like that.
It happens to everybody, right?
It happens to everybody.
Not only the beginners. If you are a medium level drummer, and you see a guy like Kristopher on the station, oh my God, he plays just like fire. Look, there's fire on the Tahiti.
Yeah.
But accidents happen to occur to everybody, and
there's a moment that vulnerable moments, man, you never know.
and you never know what's going to happen on the station.
Never,
right?
man, never.
There are certain things that you don't control. You just can't say it won't happen, and B word happens, and you should be prepared for everything. And if someone, let's just pretend that Marcos is performing that you used to teach us a couple hours ago, and he just doesn't pause, don't know what to do, and he scares off, and he doesn't want to get back in the stage again. I mean, it happens to everybody.
Oh, let me tell you, man.
What can you share to the people who have these unusual moments while performing on the stage, on rehearsal, or whatever? What can you share share to them?
Hey, it happens. It's gonna happen. It's not something you can avoid, but when it does, you have to make the best of that situation.
Yeah.
You don't laugh at it. Obviously, it counts. You're on stage, but turn it into a positive. Your costume might malfunction somehow. Hey, make a move, turn around, fix yourself. Or you forget to pay. Just start moving. And get yourself going. Or figure out where you are and put yourself back on track.
Yeah.
There's always a way to fix yourself.
Breathe in, breathe out, and keep
Breathe
on doing
and go. And moments you never ever think would happen.
Yeah.
I remember I have to sing one part in the hill. They open the curtain. I'm supposed to sing with the choir, with the chorus.
Yeah.
And we stand up and the curtain open. You see all these people and the lights. And it's like, this is the hill. And then I started singing. My voice was so dry because I was so nervous.
Yeah.
I cracked, and I think the most horrible sound came out of my
In
voice.
Mexico, in Spanish, we call it gallos.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most horrible sound came out of my mouth. And I never thought that would happen. It was so embarrassing. I didn't want to sing after that, but I had to. You see, like 5,000 people sitting out there watching this one guy, watching me do this, So you gotta make the best of your situation.
Those kind of, not mistakes, those kind of experiences are the ones who give you the strength, the experience as well, the knowledge, to don't mess it up.
Right, and then after that, you can share it with the next person.
Yeah, that's why we ask you for the funny story.
When you have those moments, make the best of it.
Yeah.
Just do that. That's all you can do.
We're about to end this with you. We don't want to take off much of your precious time.
Thank you.
And how can we find you on social media if people want to know more about Kristopher Lee or your school, your studio? Where are you going to be at? If you have a next competition, a next current presentation or something, where can we find you?
So on Facebook, Kristopher Lee with a K. You can find me there.
PH or an F?
PH.
Mm.
K and a PH.
No.
Instagram, same Kristopher Lee. My Instagram name is it's like who this guy?
Oh. Who is this guy?
Who this guy?
Lee.
Kaylee. Yeah, Chris, you just type in my name and you'll find me Instagram. It's only two accounts I got. Social media wise, I'm not real savvy with that. We also have our Facebook and our webpage Ohina Aronui Facebook and Ohina Aronui Instagram, ohinaronui.com in internet. You can follow our group, our school. You know, our school is very deep, traditionally rooted. And you probably hear more from my wife about that. You know, she's a conservatoire graduate from the Conservatoire Polynésie Française in Tahiti. She brings her learning to the floor here or in our school and passes that knowledge from that school to her students.
Yeah.
So, if you have interest in Ohina Aronui is our school. You can look us up on Facebook, Instagram, or on our webpage. And maybe you might see some interesting things. Follow us for our shows, for our competitions. We offer virtual classes, so if you live far, for instance, here in Guadalajara, or if you live in this country of Mexico and you wanted to ever take a class from us, we offer virtual classes. You can look us up. Hopefully you like it.
Is there any? I don't want to put. I might be doing something I should not, but let's just pretend. Let's just pretend. Just imagine there's a special prize and a special code. People can type to your studio, and I don't know what can they receive if they look for you and they tell you that they knew about you just because of this interview.
If you type in the message, maybe not code, but you can just say, I saw you on this podcast.
Yeah.
With these two handsome guys from Guadalajara.
One is behind the camera, and the other one is next to me.
If you say it was the podcast with the two handsome Mexican guys, then we'll know exactly how you found us.
Yeah, that'll be it for today. We have no more special question for you for this time because we want to save some for another next
Absolutely.
episode with you.
It was a pleasure, man. I appreciate the time and
It was a pleasure for us as well. We want to just for ending this, we want to invite the Haitian, the Hawaiian, the American people, even the Mexican one. We know you know somehow some words in Spanish. You can invite them to practice Ori, to practice the drumming, Tahitian music, and
To look at the podcast.
yeah, to look at the podcast as well.
you absolutely. I'm gonna share this podcast if you publish it. If you don't, I understand why.
You'll know why.
No, yes, definitely. This is a great way to reach out to the world. Basically, everybody's connected now through the internet, so there's no reason why you wouldn't catch this podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe you wanna see if I'm gonna say something wrong. So watch it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We all are humans. We made mistakes, but there's some. Is there some Haitian words you can share with us for Mexican people who haven't heard the Haitian language from a native people? So you can share with us and present them to us as well.
There's so many phrases. There's a common one that everybody uses, and it's a gesture of love. It's wahire wau ia oe. Or wahire au
And
ia
what does
oe.
that mean?
Means I love you.
Oh my, such a pretty, I told you guys he's such a wonderful liar. Just kidding, man. Thanks again for being here with us, sharing all this info and giving us a little bit of Kristopher Lee this weekend. Let's hope there's a lot of Kristopher Lee with us and so many projects next year. So thanks, man.
Thanks.
Maururu and mahalo and thank you, gracias. Merci beaucoup. And whatever else language, arigato.
Another one.
It was a pleasure, an honor, and I hope this is a success for you guys. I hope that the world can get connected to this and really experience great information.
Yeah,
If not from me, from the next person.
yeah.
Definitely.
Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys. You really are like my brothers.
Yeah, we are. We look like each other.
I wish.
Thanks, man. That'll be it for today. There's a few buttons below this, up there, down there.
Yeah.
You push every single one of them. Unfollow them, follow, like, dislike, whatever. Share us, and we'll be next week with you. Thanks again.
Maruru.
See ya.
Maruru.
Maruru.